Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic, here with my dogs Lucy and Bert. Together, we're interviewing cool, creative women entrepreneurs in the pet industry. Do you dream of working alongside your dog? Then sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode to find the inspiration and resources that will help you grow your own dog-inspired business. On this episode, I'm talking to a certified dog trainer who's taking her modern dog training education to the masses through online courses. We talk about how this makes a positive impact on people's and pets' lives around the country and the logistics of how she created the lessons. She's also making a difference in her local community by supporting assistance dog programs and volunteering her own time as a therapy dog team that helps kids find the confidence to read. Stacy Bowers is the founder and head trainer of Curious Canines, an online dog training education program that hosts flexible, positive, and certified online courses to bring modern dog training education to people and their dogs, regardless of their schedules and location. Stacy uses part of the profits from her courses to give back to assistance dog programs throughout the country. Stacy is a CPDTKA certified instructor, National Dog Agility finalist, and has over 16 years of hands-on experience in dog training and handling, as well as a bachelor's degree in animal science from Purdue University. With her own Border Collie, Stacy has competed at a national level throughout the Southeast United States in dog agility before moving to her current home in Southern California. In addition to Stacy's training experience, she and her Border Collie Briggs are a volunteer therapy dog team in their local community, and they can be found exploring local hiking trails and coffee shops around Southern California as often as possible. Hey, Stacy.
Hello. Hi, Tori. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to have you on here, and I think what you're doing, making dog training more accessible and kind of taking it online, is so unique and so needed.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's something that has been a dream of mine for quite a few years now. And, when I've been hearing over and over again the needs of the community and, pet parents across the country, I just, I knew it's something that I needed to do. And I'm glad that it's launched and it's out there for everyone now.
Yeah, it's really great. So tell us, back in time a little bit, I guess you started doing more traditional in-person training. Tell us how you kind of decided to, transition your model to make it online.
Sure, absolutely. So yes, in the beginning, years ago, and still a little bit today, where I'll do some behavior consulting in addition to Curious Canines. But long ago, how I started is, how a lot of trainers will start, helping out with group classes. My background started, I took some obedience classes long ago with my Australian Shepherd and discovered dog agility. And I still do that today, obviously, with my Border Collie Briggs, and I just fell in love with it. It's such a fun activity, met so many fun dog-loving people through it, and helped out with group classes. And then more recently, I've gotten involved with doing more private behavior consulting work, in-home private training. And what I kept hearing time and time again through group training, if it was performance dog sports or if it was private behavior consultations and behavior modification work, is that not everyone's schedule can accommodate a weekly group class. And for some people, it's wonderful. If you can go in person, that is absolutely amazing. And sometimes it just, your schedule doesn't allow for that. And then what happens also is, I'll have friends, family members that live all over the country that will reach out and they want some assistance. And, I would love to hop on a phone call, but what I really wanted to do is to provide guided courses that really go through what I would do if I was in person with them. And I bring Briggs on and we do demos and I explain what I'm doing first and then we demo it and recap afterwards. And it's a full guided experience over the course of 8 weeks. And that's what I wanted to put together for everyone in an online format that could be accessed, whether they're across the country in another country, regardless of their work schedule, that you can access it regardless of your time zone, and you can still get that modern reward-based education wherever you are and get those basic lifestyle training solutions.
Yeah, I think it's so great. I think that it's interesting because in addition to kind of being part of the pet industry, I also would consider myself part of like the online business community. And online courses are like a major thing that tons of people do. I have my own online course that I offer, and I always hear people saying, they love doing one-on-one coaching or consulting with people, but by doing an online course, you take something that's one-on-one and you convert it to one to many. So you can touch, dozens of lives or hundreds of lives, depending on how many people are signing up for your course. But it's a way that you can make a bigger impact without having to spend hundreds more hours of your own time doing it. Like basically you're spending the same amount of time, but you're able to help so many more people. So, it's really, I'm so happy to see this kind of starting to become a trend in the dog industry as well.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. And from like a community standpoint, like you mentioned, that's just so impactful for me. And to know, look, this message of modern training can be shared, across the board, and you can make that larger impact. And also, in addition to that, you know, we're able to now give back. Once a quarter, we're going to be working with a different assistance dog program across the country and donating a part of our profits to them and partnering with them. And that's all part of that community to help share their message. And for me, that's a huge part. I want to touch more people. And that's the wonderful thing about things like social media, is that, I can talk to someone who's up in Canada that I might not meet otherwise, or be able to connect with and connect over dogs with, and how they impact our lives in a positive way.
Yeah, and I think that like the more people, like we all kind of have our own little niche that we're in, but the more people that we can sort of convince that they should spend like all their time with their dogs,
Yes,
then the better.
absolutely. I am all about it. Absolutely.
So we were talking a little bit before we started recording, and you were talking about dog agility as sort of a hobby and a sport, and encouraging more people to get involved in that. So can you just talk about that, about like how what that's brought to your life, and why you think other people, especially younger generations, should
Absolutely.
get into that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's something that, you can't see me, but I smile so big when I talk about this, because it's the thing that it will just be an absolute lifelong passion of mine. And what it comes back down to is, as I'm sure many people can relate to, I mean, I'm one of those people where literally the first memories that I can recall in my life are about thinking about dogs. I mean, it constant, just constant. And so when I was 12 years old, I got the opportunity to bring an absolutely amazing Australian Shepherd into my life. He's no longer with me, but he just made the biggest impact on my life. And I, at that age, got involved with obedience classes, and, it's like the rest is history, but I got involved with dog agility pretty early on. And it was just an instant connection with people. I was a little bit quieter when I was younger, and shyer, and it just totally brought out a different side in me. And I could see it brought out a different side of my dog, active Aussie. And he just was such a wonderful dog to learn with and experience that connection with. And what I kind of saw is, as I've gotten the opportunity to travel a bit across the country, is, there's not a lot of young people doing dog agility. Over here, there's a little bit more, but we lived in Charleston, South Carolina before this, and it's really nice when you get involved with an amazing community. And so a big part of this, what we're looking to launch here not too long, is more dog agility online courses as well. But the biggest thing is I want people to learn these skills that they can apply, the basic kind of like lifestyle training solutions and training skills, because there are so many activities out there to enjoy with your dog. I know, a lot of those that listen probably already know that, but, preach into the choir here, but it is, there's just so many amazing things to do. And, dog agility is one, it's one I love, and I know a lot of other people do, but there's so much out there to enjoy with your dog. And the nice thing is little changes with, building, a connection with your dog, little training activities that you can do can make a big impact long term with your relationship with your dog. And it allows you to like go out on that hiking trail or visit the coffee shop or maybe try a dog sport. And you don't know where it'll take you, and the connections that you'll make with other dog owners, and meet some other happy dogs that are enjoying it.
Yeah, and I think that you're right. Like, if you get into dog agility and start kind of doing that, it's not like you're going to go out and walk your dog and do like parkour around the neighborhood, but like you build your relationship, and you're gonna get to know them, and they're gonna get to know you. And then when you go and do your day-to-day things, or hiking, or sitting outside at a cafe or something like that, they're gonna be so much more responsive to what you want them to do.
Absolutely. And I have a soft spot for those, the herding breeds, the sporting breeds, and they sometimes can have a lot of energy, and it's a great
Yes.
outlet for them, so you can live, that well rounded lifestyle with your dog.
Right. And so years ago, my dog Lucy, she's 7 now, but when she was less than 1 year old, I used to have this crew of people that I walked with at one of our parks, and my whole life since I've had dogs, we got our first dog when I was probably like 13 or so, and I started going to this local park where people took their dogs, and everyone there was like an adult. And
Hmm.
when I was 13, I remember thinking like these people are all so old. They're probably like were my age now.
Yes.
But they were all like adults. And I just, I think because of dogs, I've just always hung out with people who are a lot older than me because, like you said, it's just, at least over here on the East Coast, a lot of older people who are really into their dogs.
Hmm.
So I had this group of people I walked with Lucy when she was around 1, who were really into dock diving, and they invited me to a dock diving competition, and I took Lucy, and it was just so nice. Everyone was so welcoming, and it was her first time, it was my first time, and they were so patient and like showed me exactly how to do it, stood out on the dock with us, and it was just so fun. And I just was on Facebook the other day, and like your memories pop up,
Hmm.
and it popped up with a video from that, and
Oh.
watching it just like brought such a smile to my face. And although I didn't really like get super into the dock diving because there was too much sitting around, I didn't have the patience for it. But it is such a wonderful memory and just such a wonderful experience. And Lucy's like, we just still do it for fun. We don't do the competitions anymore. But and I think that I've met so many people through my dogs, that I would never meet if it weren't for them.
Oh, absolutely. Gosh, one of the best connectors, right? I mean, it's just, it breaks down barriers. It's just, one of my favorite, I have a lot of favorite things when it comes to dogs, but one of my favorites is when you're out, just walking around, if it's, in a busier area, and you look at a dog doing something silly or funny, they're having a good time, just being themselves, and you look up and you find that you're laughing with that other person of just how entertaining their dog is and how much fun and goofy they're being. And it's just what an ultimate connector. They really bring people together. And the thing that really has gotten me, more recently, is getting involved with the assistance dog community. It just brings
Mhm.
it to a whole nother level when you recognize and you get involved with a community like that, who really, it's very like purpose driven training, and to be able to see that independence and what it brings to their lives and the change that it makes in these people's lives, when they bring this dog into their life that serves a purpose for them. It's incredible. It really, gosh, it's incredible. I think, goodness, how much dogs have made an impact on my life. And, I have my sight, and, I can
Right.
hear, and it's amazing. Really just, it gets me every time, when I think about that.
Yeah, it's wonderful that you're able to impact the community in that way. Not just by helping with, fundraising or training or whatever, but I think raising awareness about that too is so important.
Yeah, they're great people that are involved with this, as you can imagine. It's just a great community, and it's really neat to be involved with that. Newer to the West Coast, so it's kind of nice to it's a nice involvement in the community. It's a great way to get to know other people. always through dogs. It's the best way, I think.
Well, that's how you're going to meet the best people.
Of course, yes. No, it's just it's so much fun, and again, it's just there's so much out there that you can enjoy. So regardless of what your favorite things are to do, there's usually something that you can get involved with your dog, which is
Exactly.
so nice. It's a
Yeah.
great thing.
So I'm curious if you don't mind sharing with us about your online course, like kind of the technical aspects of it. My online course is about how to grow your dog's Instagram account. So it's very like technical and explaining Instagram and
Hmm.
explaining systems, which is not it's not really that visual. But I would assume for dog training it's very visual. So like what did you have to do to put this course together, and what were some of the challenges of getting it up and running?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So yes, very visual. Everyone learns a little bit differently, but online learning can be, really advantageous, and particularly, with dog training, just because you can take in the information without worrying about, your dog could be taking a nap while you're learning and taking in the information in a quiet environment. So I kind of like that. I've enjoyed it. I know, a lot of my friends and their friends have, also given that feedback. But from like a technical standpoint, so a lot of it is a combination of, me discussing what I'm about to do. And a lot of it involves demos with Briggs, my trusty demo dog. So it takes a longer period of time for recording things like this because it's not just you. And, if you make a little mistake recording something, it's involving, a dog. And so
Right.
working with what he's going to be capable of doing and what I can, how much I can realistically do in one day that's, still kind for him and not going to be too much for him. But, I've gotten what's nice is, I intended this to be very lifestyle driven. So, we're covering a pretty broad range. It's intended to be kind of a starter course for higher energy breeds. So we're covering things like building focus and engagement with you, eye contact, things like that, settling calmly in your home, but also when you're out in a slightly busier environment and how we work up to that. Things like that, things like loose leash walking, readings, recalls, coming when called, and then that daily physical and mental enrichment that's so important for creating that environment in your home that's a little bit quieter for them so they can learn to settle. It's okay to take a nap in your home. You don't have to be on all the time. So things like that, very beginner friendly, but it's very demo heavy where I'll give a little intro and then I bring Briggs on and I'll demo with him from step one, and then we get to kind of like an intermediate level, where then you can apply it with your own dog. And then I usually give one or two things to work on over the course of the week, and it's designed to be a weekly basis, and then it's designed to be an 8-week course. But anyone can move at their pace. If something comes up in your life that week, you go on a vacation, it's the summer, you can just hop into week 2 or 3 whenever you can get to it, and move along on a weekly basis.
And what I love about online courses too is that you can go over the material as many times as you want.
Yes.
Or if you get a new dog, you could go back through it again or something like that. But some
Hmm.
people, you need that repetition. I mean, I guess they could even download it to their phones and then listen to you while they're out, trying to train the dog. There's so many different applications.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like, gosh, did I hear that correctly? Did I see, little details and
Mhm.
nuances of just like where you put your hand and timing and things like that. If you can watch it over and over again, the biggest goal is just getting the information out there and for it to make an impact on people and their dogs, and hopefully this will make it a little bit easier for people to kind of go through things and, okay, I saw the demo the first time to even, what are we even doing? Then let me look at it a second time to realize like, okay, when did she say that? Or where was her hand? And what's the dog doing at that exact moment? And I try to make it as clear as I possibly can, because gosh, there's some things that are going to be best in person, but I want to make sure with an online format that I take advantage of it. I try to make it as visually appealing as possible, and to kind of cater to as many different learning styles as I can, being remote and helping people virtually.
Yeah, but I think being able to watch it kind of in your own environment at your own pace is so great because I personally get overwhelmed sometimes at group training, um, because there's just so much going on in the room, and there might be some like wild dogs or
Hmm.
distracting people. Or I was at a training class one time where we were having our own group training, and then there was a private lesson going on separately. It came into our room because they wanted to train the dog where there was like a lot of distractions going on. And
Hmm.
they had, and the family had two little kids, and they had one of the kids riding a bicycle and the other was bouncing a ball, and
Oh
they're all
gosh.
like making laps around the room. And like, Lucy was fine, but I was losing my mind. I had to leave the room because it was just like way too much, like sensory overload for me.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Gosh, yes, and for the dogs too. I mean, depending on the dog, that might be a tougher environment for the dog too. And I think of this also, for the trainers that are out there as a supplement to group classes as
Yeah.
well. This can be an addition if somebody could use the extra knowledge and some guidance in addition to their weekly classes. I feel like this could be a great source of supplemental training as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, so you talked about the importance of getting this information out there. So, how exactly are you kind of marketing this to people? I noticed your Instagram account is really great, and I
Thanks.
personally think you've done such a great job of incorporating this into your photos in a way that looks really natural and fits in with all of your other, dog photos and hiking photos and that kind of stuff. So how exactly are you telling people that this exists?
Oh, thanks. Well, I appreciate the kind words. Yes,
Yeah,
well, it all kind of starts, with Briggs, and it's something that I've really enjoyed just sharing. We've traveled, we hike a lot with him, my fiance and I, and it's just, gosh, sharing that, connecting with people, and then when I knew that I would be, launching these courses, I was like, gosh, there's a community there, and it's something that I wanted to make sure that I shared with that community there, and in addition to that, we build and also, an email list from that as well. So our website over at curiouscanines.com, that's another way that, a lot of the message is out there and the courses are all through that website. And then additionally, there's a community here as well. So in addition to, announcing this on social media, I'm partnering with some local shelters and organizations so that they can share this information with new adopters, and so we can also, in addition to virtually announcing this and digitally announcing this, is to also have this marketed locally as well, because it's something that, I'm all about. If I can just share that message and make sure that people know that this is out here as an additional resource for their dog, then that's the ultimate goal. But mainly on social media and through the website, and then local marketing as well.
cool. So I don't mean to get too nitty gritty, but just in case someone wants to work with a local shelter, how exactly do you approach them? Are these organizations that you already had a relationship with, or did you just kind of like walk in and say, "Here's what I do"?
Yeah, no, such a good question. So I'm actually pretty new to the West Coast. So other than having some local trainer friends that also train professionally, in addition, other than the assistance dog groups and therapy dog groups that I have, this was more, kind of like cold calling, as you call it, reaching out via
Right.
email and sharing my message. So what I do is I put together a little like informational packet for them that, look, it goes a little bit more, I use Canva, and put together different graphics so the information they can, cleanly and, simply kind of go through that of the information and just email them. Look, this is my background, and I'd love to partner with you and have you, recommend this resource for new adopters. And sometimes when people adopt a dog, it might be the first time they've ever had a dog in their life, or if they are seeking training resources. But smaller things like even just coffee shops, just going around, just those small things as well. It all matters of just getting that message out there. But yeah, I just reach out via email and explain to them what it is that I do, and if they want to hop on a quick phone call with me, and talk through a little bit more, and then meet in person if they're interested.
I think that's so great. It doesn't have to be like so intimidating. I think sometimes we can all kind of build up these interactions in our head and then you like get too scared to do it because if you spend all your day with dogs sometimes it's hard to like translate that into going and talking to strangers.
Oh, absolutely. And if you look at it as just, you're sharing a resource. You're sharing something that you're bringing to people and their dogs. And when you come at it and thinking about it that way, it's less intimidating, and it's just a matter of getting that out there. And what's nice is, in the dog community, people are overall very welcoming, I find, and
Yes.
kind, and it's okay to make a mistake, and you're never going to get that message more clear unless you say it a couple times out loud. And just the empowering feeling of just saying, like, this is my business, or this is what I do, and I'm here to bring this to more people.
Yeah.
It's empowering, and to be able to say that and practice that, it's helpful, and it's good to get out of your comfort zone with beyond just your friends and family members, of practicing that and really getting out, and even just like I said, just reaching out via email. If you reach out to 10 people, maybe one person will say yes, let's meet. That and for the
Yeah.
other people, maybe it's not the right timing. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. Maybe another time.
Yeah, that's such good advice. So, in a couple minutes that we have left, I want to talk a little bit about the therapy dog work that you do with Briggs. So, how long have you guys been a therapy dog team?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So we, the first kind of step was testing for the Canine Good Citizen test with AKC. I knew that I would be moving. My fiance's in the Coast Guard, and so we were about to move. We were in Charleston, South Carolina, tested for CGC there. With Briggs was pretty young at the time, and it's something that typically people might not think of a border collie doing that, a young, working line border collie, but he absolutely adores people. And I was like, gosh, if we can build on this skill set of settling calmly on a mat and applying that to other areas. We started in Charleston, did that, and then when we moved here to California, we got involved with a therapy dog group here called Bark Therapy Dogs. They do their own testing, so we did a second test through them. And then now what we do is we go to local libraries where young kids can work on their reading skills, and they read to Briggs and a couple other dogs. Obviously, it's a big group. They have other dogs, so usually there's one or two other dogs at the library with us. And we bring our little blanket, and we settle calmly there. And then he just absolutely loves it. We've worked really, really hard at that. And now he very much gets the opportunity to, lay there really happily, and they're reading to him, and it's a great. It's been such a neat opportunity to obviously, get involved with a great community, and also to see the power in, gosh, his strength and something he really enjoyed, which is people. He's such a people dog. He just loves children, and so I'm like,
Aw.
gosh, if we could work on these skills like calm greetings and settling calmly on a mat, we can get out there and do this where we don't have to wait until he's older. We can work on these skills now.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, are the visits organized through Bark Therapy Dogs, or do you have
They
to seek out a venue yourself?
Yeah, they handle a lot of that. So they handle the logistics. So if anyone is, in the Southern California area, and, they have passed the CGC exam, they can that test and get titled. They can now, take their exam, but they're testing. They do that. They're such a good organization. They organize all of that. So we choose the library that we're going to go to, and they handle the logistics, and then they handle the relationship there, and we show up and just enjoy some time with the kids reading to them.
That is so great. They make it easy for you.
Yes, it's so nice. They're a great group, and I know there's a lot of amazing therapy groups across the country and do amazing work. And yeah, it's a great group.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Well, Stacey, unfortunately, we're out of time. I could keep talking to you for hours, but tell everyone where they can learn more about you online.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure, and I love what you're doing. It always brings a smile. I love just that happy lifestyle with your dog, and it always brings a smile to my face.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone wants to hear more and check out our courses, obviously you can head over to curiouscanines.com, and then you can follow along with our adventures and our training journey, and see what we're all about, and see what we're up to on Instagram at the Curious Collie, and we're on Facebook as well at Curious Canines LLC.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stacy.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. You can fetch show notes at wearwagrepeat.com. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And until next time, we'll see you around the dog park.